Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our second patch note discussion. This time we're doing patch 1.1.4, and this is the one that brings in the Gunpowder Skeleton event. So that'll be fun. This one's going to be a little different because I've actually had the opportunity to go ahead and play before recording. So for 1.1.3, I hadn't played or anything. So I've experienced some of the changes in this update. So yeah, I'll give some feedback based on what I've seen. I only had a couple hours in game, but it'll help, me formulate some thoughts. And, as I said last time, none of this really matters. So let's go get to it. This big introduction basically just says we've started the second Build Rat adventure. It's the Gunpowder Skeleton. You'll still be able to get commendations for doing the Thrones activities, and titles, but you'll no longer be able to get doubloons for it. So I'm assuming that's going to be the same for this in 2 weeks once Gunpowder Skeletons go away. I actually like that. I think it's cool that you can still get the stuff afterwards. You just can't really get those cosmetics because they're out of the store and you don't get the doubloons. So let's go right into the changes for this one. Gunpowder Skeleton event. Carrying a gunpowder keg, skeletons can now rush towards you, light their fuse, and boom, off to the fair you go. The Bilge Rats are challenging all brave pirates to defeat them in various ways, some less conventional than others. Keep an ear perked for a burning fuse and a finger on the trigger. So when I first read this, I was wondering, what are these various ways that you can kill them? Now that I've actually had time to do the event, there's not that many. You really just blow up the skeletons, and I think the difference is whether or not you kill 3 of a kind or you chain it with another one, another barrel. So, it's all pretty much the same thing, but it's still a fun event. It's making forts very easy to clear right now, so that's fun. It's also probably making Order of Souls real easy. All I've done so far is the forts, so I'd imagine it's the same thing. Explosive Force. When detonated, gunpowder kegs now have the force to rock and push ships. This is really cool. I was really excited the first time I read this. I told myself I wasn't going to record until reading this for the first time, but I went ahead and read it before the recording anyway. And I was really excited when I read this. That's super cool. My suspicion is that when they added in the Meg bites you and really pushes your ship. It's very different from when you kind of run into another boat and get pushed. Much more force, being enacted on the ship, and I think that's what they've done for these barrels. I've had this happen one time so far, and the barrel was not even very close to our ship, and it pushed us a decent distance. So it's a little unrealistic how much you get pushed, but it's a really cool mechanic that I'm glad they added. Fuses. When holding a gunpowder keg, players can now light a 5-second fuse by pressing the primary action button, right trigger on a controller or left click on a mouse. Another awesome mechanic that they added. Was really excited that they did this. It's going to open up the door for cool new plays. So I'm looking forward to seeing Reddit and YouTube in the next few days to see what people do. You should be able to get up in enemies' crow's nests, and if they have gunpowder, you light it and drop it, and light it and drop it, and light it and drop it, and just totally devastate their boat. And just a bunch of cool stuff like that. So 2 awesome mechanics that are really cool. They're going to stay in the game after this event is over, so that's awesome. Bilge Rat doubloons. Each gunpowder skeleton commendation on the progress screen details the number of Bilge Rat doubloons it rewards. Players have until the 10th of July to complete the commendations and earn up to 150 Bilge Rat doubloons. So they increased it by 50, the amount you can get for this event. I don't know that that's enough as far as replayability goes. And they mentioned replayability down in a few bullet points, but I really don't know if they did enough for that. So it still seems like it's going to be a 1 to 2 day event, and then everyone's going to be done with it. On the plus side, though, you can get the majority of this done by yourself. So that's different and easier for people who are complaining about that. Also, currently, right now, as it stands, you can complete the one requirement where you need another person from a different crew is bugged, and you can do that by yourself as well. So, if you want to get it done by yourself, go ahead and do it in the next few days before that gets patched. I guess it wouldn't be patched till next week. Unless they, elevate that to like a critical thing and hotfix it. But I doubt they'll do that. Build Rat Cosmetics, the Bone Crusher Sword, Pistol Blunderbuss, and Eye of Reach, priced at 15 doubloons per item, are available until the 10th of July. Really cool that we're getting new cosmetics. That's always a good thing. That can never really be a bad thing. I guess unless they look too much alike and then they have to take them out of the game. But yeah, so these are cool. Actually, I'm pretty sure Music Me put a picture of these down here. See if I can open that up. Well, you guys can, I can't make it bigger for some reason, but they're okay. I like the Eye of Reach one a lot. The other ones I'm not crazy about. That's just my personal preference. More is good though. People who like it can use it, and it's limited time, so you kind of get a collection going. So yeah, let's go on to where were we? We were at Build Rat Cosmetics. Letters of recommendation. Oh boy. Yeah, so I got some thoughts on this. Letters of recommendation now grant a full level in the chosen trading company. Opting to spend your hard-earned doubloons on reputation with the trading companies, this just got better. So, yeah, clearly now you get a full level in the trading company. And at first I did not like this change, but I think I've actually had my position on this changed. I still think the price of the letter needs to scale with your level, because you shouldn't be paying 30 doubloons to go from level 10 to level 11 and 30 doubloons to go from 49 to 50. Now here's where my position has changed. I don't think it necessarily needs to get higher priced for people at level 49. 30 doubloons is, that's a fifth of your doubloons that you can get from this event. You can only get 150 from this event, and you're going to spend a third on one letter of recommendation. So if you buy 3 letters of recommendation, you're at 90 doubloons, right? You're over half of your, that's 3/5 of your total doubloons. So I don't think it needs to be higher, but I do think it needs to be lower for people who are going to buy a letter to go from level 10 to 11. That's just kind of stupid. Just because you're not getting the same amount of rep. It's not XP in this game, it's a rep. So scale it down for the people who are lower level. And apparently you can only get 1 per event. So I think that's pretty balanced. So yeah, at first I didn't think it was a good idea, but I've had my mind changed. It's probably fine. Build Rat titles. Completing the Gunpowder Skeleton's commendations will unlock 2 new pirate titles. These titles will unlock straight into your vanity chest for maximum bragging rights. So same as last time. I actually didn't see this sentence on the last update, so when I read it this time, I panicked and thought I had missed 2 titles, but I didn't. You get the titles, and you don't have to buy them or anything. They're not in the store. They go right to your chest. Legendary commendations. Earn an additional 50 doubloons by taking on the challenge of the Legendary Commendations. These Legendary Commendations have been added based on player feedback requesting long-term goals and replayability. First of all, after playing, they're not really that difficult to obtain. The fort one would be if you actually had to have a second person with you, or second crew, but currently it's bugged. So that one would be a little difficult, but the other 2, not really so much. And I'm not really impressed with how they're introducing replayability with this. I mean, it's good that they're trying to. The intention is good. Replayability is definitely an issue for the events, but I'm not really convinced that this is going to add any replayability. People are basically going to come down to the decision of whether or not they want to invest the extra time for 50 extra doubloons when you can already get more than enough to buy the stuff for this event anyway. So, in my opinion, keep trying. I like the intention, but I don't think the solution you came up with here is going to actually work. So that's just my opinion. I'm sure others will disagree, and if you do, let me know. Let me know what your ideas are, what you think of it. And so let's go on to the updates. Megalodon. Megalodon behaviors have been updated and improved. That's super vague. It doesn't really tell you what they've done with it. So, Depending on what the improvement is, I'm assuming it's a good thing, but it could be subjective. So, we'll take it as good, and hopefully they can give us more concrete information on what has been improved. Skeleton accuracy. Skeletons wielding a blunderbuss or pistol have had their accuracy reduced. This was tweaked due to player feedback. A couple of things here. Number one, I've played, and I don't really feel like they've been nerfed all that much, so maybe they have, and I'm just really bad, but I've been jumping around, running around, hiding behind stuff, and still getting shot like crazy, so I'm not entirely convinced they actually even reduced the accuracy. Second thing, I don't necessarily think they needed to decrease the accuracy, not because I didn't think the skeletons were OP or anything. I definitely did. But the way I look at it, you kind of fall into one of three camps here. You either think that the skeleton accuracy was not too strong and was totally okay and it should stay the same, or you think that the skeleton accuracy was too strong and should be nerfed as it was, or the third camp, where I kind of fall under, is you think the accuracy is too high, but you don't think that's the real issue. The AI totally sucks. And if you just, totally overhauled the AI, you don't need to. You can keep the accuracy where it is ridiculously. Improve the AI. Maybe make it so 5 pistol skeletons don't all spawn together, and then you have a much better AI system. I love the game, but the AI is very underwhelming. So that's where I stand on it. I'm definitely going to enjoy the time that we have while it's nerfed, but I'm hoping that's just a temporary band-aid on a severed leg, and in the future they'll go forward and actually address the core issue. Joinable status. Players can now make themselves unjoinable from the crew management tab within settings. So that's cool. A lot of people were not happy when we went from solo to open crews. You lost the ability to truly be solo because people could join on you. So now they've remedied that. That's good. Personally, I don't like playing by myself, but for those who do, that's cool for you. So congrats. Build Rat UI, the reputation summary, and icon have been updated with improved visuals. I wasn't impressed by the new one. I thought the old one was fine, but for those who like it, that's a good update for you. Performance improvements and fixed issues. There's never really going to be a bad performance improvement or fixed issue, but we're going to go through them just the same. Reduce client memory usage on PC. Good. Improve network bandwidth usage, which may in turn reduce latency experienced by players. Good. Improve server performance, which will lead to reduced latency. Good. These last two, though, like I said, I got to play on this patch already. Haven't noticed a difference. My ping is still in the 150s. So, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as other games when it's in the 150s. So, multiple server and client crash fixes. Good. Very vague. Thanks for the info. Further improvements and optimizations for all platforms are ongoing. This will probably be that way forever. The turning speed on the galleon has been corrected. Good, very good. I was very worried that they did this change on purpose when it came into the last build last week. So happy that they didn't do it on purpose, because it really brings a balance issue. The sloop loses one of its biggest advantages on the galleon, which was its maneuverability. And you can go back into last week's video if you want to hear me talk about why this was an issue, but very glad that it's fixed. They got it out of there pretty quickly too. Being poisoned by a snake no longer shows the VFX a second time. Another great fix that was super annoying. Tons of people complained about it. Took them a little longer to get it out of the game, but it's gone. Well, at least they claim. I haven't run into a snake yet. So cool. Glad that's gone. Large button prompts no longer overlap. No idea. Never had this issue. That's good. Some hairstyles no longer appear under-tucked into jacket collars. That sentence doesn't make sense, but the update is great. I personally hated the tucked-in look. Really liked my long hair look, and it was gone. At least for the main jacket that I use, which was the pre-order Black Dog jacket. So I switched over to the Bone Crusher jacket because it didn't tuck in. But now I can go back to what I was wearing. I really like the long hair. So yeah, thank you for fixing that. I really didn't like that change. Megalodons will no longer collide with islands when following a ship. I'm kind of sad about that. I thought that was kind of cool, but it was a bug, so it's better to get it out of the game. It was fun to see pictures of it on Reddit, though. Skeletons at a fort no longer lose their textures once the captain is killed. Honestly, I had no idea this was a bug. I thought they were just like turning to stone or something. And really, I don't even pay enough attention to the skeletons now in today's session to even, you know, I didn't tell a difference. But, you know, it's good that it was fixed if it was a bug. Majestic Sovereign trousers no longer visually tear. That's good, you know. Make the games pretty, keep it pretty. Known issues. Some players travel in an unintended direction when fired from a cannon. Don't know how this is still in the game. This one's taking them forever to get out of there. That's okay, though. I'm patient, but I will be very happy when this is gone. It's super annoying when that happens to you, especially if it happens when you're in the middle of a fight. Build rat doubloons have not been correctly rewarded to a number of players who earned them through the Skeleton Thrones event. I really hope the people who got screwed by this bug were able to purchase their clothes in time. If not, I would definitely put a ticket in for that. Yeah, so I think you'll get it in time. They've been pretty good about retroactively rewarding things, as we'll see here in the next point. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think you'll be covered. The Hungering Deep rewards were not received by a number of players who earned them. We are currently rolling out a fix for this issue. Yeah, so, you know, they're on it. I think they're going to be on it with the doubloons as well. So just be patient and submit a ticket if it's happened to you. Resource barrels on ships will periodically restock if they are below the default level of stock. Interesting bug. Haven't seen it happen to me personally. Glad it's recognized. It actually has some impact because people who are holding down a fort and have to keep battling off waves of ships that can just keep respawning and coming back are now going to have a little cushion. I don't know how effective it is, but, you know, that needs to be gone because it'll actually impact some gameplay. So that's it for this patch note. That's 1.1.4. Really looking forward to doing the event. And thank you to Merc Rage. He gave me the advice of putting this puppy in full screen before starting the recording. So thank you for that feedback. And thanks for tuning in.